Hello and welcome. In this match I'm in the tier 5 US, Soviet cruiser, the Murmansk. It's essentially an Omaha and this match is on the map New Dawn. And the match is quite even in terms of matchmaking anyway. I swapped to AP the moment I see a broadsided Aoba because a Murmansk can Citadel and Aoba, and I also point my nose towards the Aoba because one, it makes me a lot harder to hit, and two, it means I can have 5 guns on target. And as you can see, I'm getting Citadels. Well, okay, if I hit, I'm getting Citadels. Right now I'm leading a bit too much. I also am stopped so I don't keep going forward and get myself killed on something silly, like rushing too far ahead. But since there was a destroyer here, I swapped to HE and started moving so I would have some mobility when torpedoes are incoming. Also I activated sonar, because I imagined torpedoes would come, and they are. And now it's time to sink this Mutski, who, by the way, has less HP than an upgraded Umikaze, because she doesn't have the hull upgrade. Yes, a tier 6 destroyer has less HP than a tier 2 one. And she got unlucky too, a detonation, but I don't think she would have made it out alive. Now I'm trying to get through this small strait while swapping to AP, to try to hit this Kuma and deter them from trying to hunt me too much. It's kinda important to turn correctly here, otherwise you'll be stuck on an island. But at least as long as I'm not showing my broad... Yeah, I just messed up. This is kinda bad. I could easily die here, so I immediately reverse and turn in a way which would make my profile as small as possible against those targets. Since the Kuma shot wasn't possible, I swapped to Phoenix shot for a moment, but then Kuma was possible again. Since Kuma isn't possible now, swap to Phoenix again.
Target penetrated.
Remember, you can easily penetrate them with AP. Sadly, somebody took it with torpedoes, which kinda makes sense, but at least I got moving and managed to move out of the way. But I think that even if I hadn't made it out, the torpedoes didn't have enough range to really kill me, but maybe they did. So now from range, hit the Kuma again, a bit at least, and try to stay behind islands so I don't, you know, just get killed randomly. I mean, as long as I have islands between me and most enemies, they aren't going to shoot me. And even if there are some enemies who are visible, or rather for whom I am visible, then it's just them shooting, so I might be able to survive that, like right now. So, since the Wakataka is a bit too far away, since she's a destroyer, I can't really hit her, so I'll just fire HE at the New Mexico, at least as long as I can, while going straight ahead to their cap. Although that Kuma is a bit of a better target, I think, but I do want to have AP loaded before I start shooting at the Kuma. Right now, I think switching back to HE is completely fine, as our volley from HE will still kill the Kuma, I think. Or well, at least likely kill. Just have to make sure that there are islands between me and the rest of the enemy fleet so they don't just hit me from the side, especially since there's nobody else who would be tanking for me or pulling aggro at least. And it seems some of these enemies are coming back to defend their cap. The Wakataka is still alive as well, but luckily here's a low island in the way that should at least obscure vision for enemies on that side. So I point my nose towards that side since enemies are gonna come from there, and I have most of my guns on that side, so sinking this Wakataka is actually important at the moment because she gives vision to enemies, so would be good if she sank so they wouldn't be able to fire back at me. But I mean, if I keep my nose pointed towards most of the enemies, it's unlikely that even if they did shoot back at me that they would just kill me, especially battleships, as my profile is so narrow that you just saw what happens, or would happen. Like, these things are really hard to hit on Murmansk, showing you only their nose. And I switched to AP and tried to hit this Omaha. She turned though. The Omaha is very nimble. But I mean, a turn like this is very predictable, so just got the lead and fire. Right now I'll start moving a little bit because I need to turn my nose. That's about it. It doesn't really matter if I keep going closer or back away. Just have to make sure that my nose is pointing at the New Mexico, so I don't get citadel from there. That one could kill me in like one hit or something. I swept to HE since I need HE for the New Mexico, and the HE shot is fine enough for the Omaha. And luckily those shells hit the island instead of me. The Wakataka is still here, but I prefer, or rather, for me the New Mexico is more important also. A friendly dealt with the Wakataka already, so it's okay. Since it seems the New Mexico doesn't actually want to kill me, I guess I can start moving. I mean, it's a bit risky, but might as well, since there's a Warspite that needs to be attacked after this New Mexico anyway. So yeah, since I'm in a cruiser, or light cruiser even, just fire at the New Mexico. Nothing else to really do. Fire at the New Mexico with HE, that is. If I wasn't in Murmansk, I would stand in this cap point here for the maximum amount of time to finish the game, probably at least. But since I am farming credits more, and I give more damns about the credit gain than whether we win or lose is as likely. I mean, the likelihood of us losing is tiny, but still, it's higher than if I had stayed in the cap. But since I want the most credits gain, I just risk it anyway and start going towards more enemies to slay them. Sadly, I didn't expect this Wyoming here. I wanted to start going back somewhere near my cap because they also had a destroyer left, so I was afraid that the destroyer went on to cap, but it seems the Minakaze is here. So I keep my nose pointed towards the Wyoming and the island between me and the Warspite. And I activate sonar to spot Minakaze torpedoes further away. And the torpedoes are spotted. Just gotta make sure I don't hit them. And turn nose towards the Wyoming. Prepare the fire. And it seems that the Warspite is actually firing at me too, so that means it doesn't matter so much whether I who I fire at, really. But dropping torpedoes on this Wyoming would be a good idea. Actually, I'd like to drop them on the Warspite. There's an island in the way, so I can't. So Wyoming has to do. Well, bye Warspite. So fire torpedoes from the other side too, in case he does some evasive maneuvers, and try to point nose towards the Wyoming. But these secondaries are pretty painful, or rather would be, but it's okay. He just did a trade. I mean, he got a nice tier 5 kill and I finished the game, which is good enough for me. 5800 experience and 450k credits and almost 2600 base experience, more than double of anyone else in this match. I guess I had a great game. And this is, what is it, 84k, 91. Well, let's say it's something a bit less than 110k damage at tier 5, which is excellent. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, then please subscribe, and thanks for watching.